To the moon. To the moon. Let's go. Good morning, traders. Good morning, traders. Lino Rocha, there he is. The man, the myth, the legend, Lino Rocha. Hello, Jules, the super fan is here. All the subscribers they now call them super fans, I just found out. What's up, DGO? Hello, Fox Strikes. How are you, my beautiful traders? TAP, user with the heart me. Jules with the roses. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's go. We got whip zones. We got to do some education in here today, boy. Let's go. We got the designer glasses on the board. Let's hammer those things right out of the gate. Hello, Elegant Fitness. Yes. Davion, Lino with the confetti. Thank you, my Lino. Davion with the popular candy with the heartbeat. Designer glasses, everybody. That's what we got to attack. If you're here for the first time, hit that follow button. We're on every day, Monday through Sunday. Swanee and Candy with the designer sunglasses. Yes. Woo, 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 woo. Just got back from the apple farm this morning with the kids. I was eating the apples. Couldn't help myself. They were delicious. Yes. Marcus with the heartbeat. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Get the tappers going. Where's JDM? Where is JDM? He must be in here somewhere. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So if you look at the SPY here this morning, my traders, okay, you look at the state that we're in. What does this tell you about tomorrow? What does this tell you about tomorrow? What does this tell you, my beautiful traders? We are in a neutral state right there, okay? We're going to plug in our whip zone levels right now. That is your whip zone. This is your state. What does this tell us about tomorrow? It tells us a few things, okay? Not necessarily whippy, but it's going to tell us a few things that we're going to go over here shortly, okay? Tap, 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 TAP. Hello, Authentic. Hello, Raven. How are you? We got 7 more designer glasses on the board. Hater, how are you, Hater? Good to see you. Hello, everybody over there on the tubes. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Hello, SSS. Hello, Goj something. Enjoy my last weekend vacation of the summer. Nice, Raven. Good for you, man. Enjoy it. JDH over there. JDH. Keep tapping, everybody. Keep tapping. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're at 6,000 likes. Andrew the Believer with the heartbeat. Thank you, the Believer. Get your heart me's in, everybody. Get your heart me's in right here. Join the fan club. She loves you. Who loves me? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Hater, thank you for the rose. The Believer with the popular, yes. Keep tapping, everybody. Good morning. I hope you all are doing well. We are going to put in our whip zone levels here for tomorrow, okay? We're going to explain a little bit what the whip zone is. Good morning, Travis. Good to see you, JDH. JDH, who are you? Are you in the VIP? Who are you in the VIP? Steven with the follow. Thank you so much. Marty, hello. And we are going to put in some positions here so you guys know what the hell is going on, all right? So we know tomorrow all we ask that you do is donate when you can and tap that screen and share. Right now we have 0 shares. So let's get to 50 shares. Everyone in the bottom right corner, you see the arrow that goes like this? Hit that and share it alive. Let's go. Share the live, everybody. It's the thing that looks like this. That's kind of an arrow, right? That's kind of an arrow. Thank you, my candy. All right, let's go. We are in a neutral state tomorrow. We're in the whip zone here. So what is the whip zone? It is the major levels of the morning. All the levels you need are whip zone levels. You don't need pre-market high, pre-market low. Flex, you changed your name. Oh, no, okay, you're on YouTube. Good to see you, Flex. You don't need all the BS. These are the levels you need. Your pre-market and post-market should be turned off. Turn it off right now. Go in and shut off extended hours. Hello, new trader. Shut them off, okay? In the first 15 minutes of the day, if we open in the whip zone between these levels here, you are doing nothing. You're just going to be choppy in here. We want to get over the whip zone for a long, or we want to get under the whip zone for a short. We don't care which way this goes. We don't care if it goes up. We don't care if it goes down. We play whatever Miss Market tells us to play. If you don't know how to short, we'll teach you all that in the VIP, okay? I mean, shorting's easier than going long, to be honest with you. So anything above 662 to the upside, we're going long. Anything under 660.48 to the downside, we're going short. Now, the state of our stock is crucial. So we know we are in a neutral state. We are in a bullish neutral state. So anything to the upside, we got to be a little skeptical. We still have room to the upside coming out of position 1, so you can still get a nice little long. But we got to know, as you start coming into these whole numbers up here in this state, wrap it up, because we're going to be coming back. Okay, you got to wrap up your trade. A lot of traders, they don't know what state they're in. So they go for a long here above the whip zone, and they think they're going where? They think they are going to the moon. But you're not going to the moon, because you're going to get violence back this way. So your entry, and you're going to lose. You're going to lose because of the state of your stock. If this was narrow, then you can go to the moon. All right? Now, if we open and we short, Mr. Dave, there he is with the $1.99 super chat on the tubes. Thank you, Mr. Dave. Now, for a short under the whip zone, what's the problem here for a short under 660.48? Well, we are in a bullish neutral state, and now we have a bearish position, okay? So the stars aren't aligned. So what typically happens if you try to go short at the open in a bullish neutral state? You're going to, right? It's going to look like it's going down, and it's going to chop you up. You're going to go sideways and chop around until that 20 catches up to that 200, and then it'll make its move to the downside. So if you ever taken a trade, folks, in the first 10 minutes of the day, and you go for a short, and all of a sudden it chops you up and stops you out, and then 10 minutes later it runs, and you say to yourself, oh man, it went without me. That's why. How many times have you taken a trade and said, after you got out of fear, oh, it still went. I had the right idea, but it was the wrong timing. Oh, man, that's why, because you don't know the state of your stock, all right? So now let's say we get a gap up tomorrow. Let's say Miss Market gaps up right up here in this state. Are you looking to go long? No, you're not looking to go long on that gap up because you're neutral. You can't go any higher. You need the pullback first before you think about anything long to the upside. Now, this brings in another thing that traders don't know. So a lot of traders will think, okay, this was our gap up. This is where the market opens. Ding, ding, ding. Voss says we need a pullback. Well, yeah, but you got to know your retracement levels. So if you pull back all the way down here, are you looking to go long? Yes or no, traders? Would you be looking to go long right in this area here after the pullback? Yes or no? Hello, my beauties. Do you short with puts? No, Caesar, I trade equities, shares. Yavid, to get into the VIP, you are going to head over to thevosstrading.com. This is how you get into VIP, everybody, and where I train you, okay? This is where you're going to learn everything we're talking about, thevosstrading.com. You could go to click the link in the bios, YouTube or TikTok, or just go to the website. Get in that VIP so we can start helping you. So you're not going to go long here on the retracement because you retrace too far down. You're not looking for longs here anymore. You're looking for what's called a break of structure play back through the whip zone, back to the downside. See, what's very important here, and you learn this in the VIP, if you gap up here, a novice or a new trader thinks, well, we gapped up, so we must be going long. How many of you think like that? We gapped up, we're going to the moon, we're going long, but you lose. Because you're not going long, because you need to know you don't know what state you're in. That's the first problem. This is your 50% retracement level right here, okay? I talk about this every morning on the TikTok lives. If you stay above the 50%, you could take your long with an event to the upside. You need your event, and we'll teach you all about events too. If you come under the 50%, we're looking for the break of structure play back to the downside. This is the golden goose right here, 50%. Now, for all you beautiful traders, if we gap up here again, and we come back to the 25% retracement level, these are the only the ones I need you to know about right now. You come back to the 25% retracement level. What's going to happen if you get an event to the upside? What typically happens 80% of the times with an event at the 25% to the upside? Does anybody know? All Rose, yes, Black Rose. Let's go, let's go. Let's make sure we're TAP, TAP, TAP. Correct. You will get this move to the upside will be just as big as the gap up, or it will be bigger. Minimum, you will probably get the same move that you had to the upside at the 50% retracement level. And these are all the things you need to learn and know so when you get into a trade, you stay in a trade. You don't just get in and get out, get in and get out, get in and get out. That's what a trader that doesn't know what they're doing does. They get in, they get out. They get in, they get out. And they're like, what the hell? Why do I always win so little? And why do I lose so big? That's why. You don't know how to trade. You don't know your retracement levels, your state, your position, market cycle. You need to know. You don't know events. We got to teach you all these things so that way you can stay into a trade. Now, when you get into a trade, you enter a trade, let's say, for a move to the upside. How do you know when to get out? So for all of you in here not in the VIP, when you enter a trade, how do you know when you're getting out? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Of the tiger. 2-to-1 or previous resistance, price target. But repost, what is your price target? How do you know what your price target is, repost? When you make 20%, doesn't get past resistance, Thank you for the follows, everybody. See, none of you know when to get out of a trade. You're just making things up that sound good. When I come up to resistance, I'm going to get out. You base your trade based on the risk to reward of that trade. You don't know your risk to reward. That's the problem. So when you before you enter that trade, you have to know what you're risking and what your reward is before you enter that trade. But you don't know that answer yet, okay, until it executes the trade. So as soon as you execute the trade, you should know what your risk to reward is. And how do we know that? You got to know where your stop is. Most of you have no clue when you're getting out of a trade, so you don't know where your reward is. That's the problem. You get into a trade, and in your mind, you say, I'm just going to hold on for dear life. Well, you can't do that. That's not how trading works. You need to know your risk to reward on your trade before you enter the trade. Candy with the rock the stage glasses. Yes. The TikTok music. Yes. 11. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Kilo. Yes. Kilo. But nobody knows how to plan their trade. You think you know how to plan a trade, but you don't know how to plan a trade. Or you want to be red every month. If you were such a good planner of trades, you would be green every month. Now, we're talking about months. We're not talking about days. You're going to have red days. But at the end of the month, you all are red every month. Am I right? How many of you are red at the end of every single month? We got higher lows with the designer glasses. Yes, we got 6 more designer glasses. Hammer those things. We got to get rid of those things. Okay? So when you take a trade, you're either going for a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 on your trade. The market cycle turns over most of the time around 1-to-1. When do you go for a 2-to-1? When you have an A-plus setup. This is when you go for your 2-to-1. You don't just get into a trade and say, okay, I'm in, let's get rich, it's going to the moon. No, that's gambling. That's not going to work. The bulk of my trades are 1-to-1, okay? I do take a lot of trades that are 2-to-1. But the longer you stay in a trade, the longer and the chances of you losing the trade go up dramatically. How many of you have been in a trade, okay? You get into the upside. You're like, yes, this is the trade I've been waiting for. Thank you. And then, whoop, and now you're staring at the screen. What happened? This is what an amateur does. An amateur thinks they're going to the moon. They want the whole move. Anyone who joins the VIP, when they say, but Voss, how do I catch the entire move? Right now, that screams out, amateur. I already know what their problem is. Amateur. They're desperate for money. So that's a bad place to be in. When we are hey, Julissa, when we are desperate for money, you're going to lose money. So just write that down. An amateur's looking for the whole move. A professional is looking for a piece of the move 1 to 3 times a day. That is it. Take a piece here, we'll take a piece here, and we're going to wrap it up for the day. Why the amateur is looking for the whole move, they are losing on those moves. And then once the amateur doesn't get the move they want, that's when they start scalping. In, out, losing by 1,000 cuts. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So with the new PDT rule coming out, so it's going to go from $25,000 to $2,000. You know what's going to happen? People are going to start trading options more. And you know what's going to happen? They are going to lose by 1,000 cuts. So their 2,000 accounts are going to be gone, 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 gone. You're going to do that about 5 times. That's going to be 10 grand. Boom. Gone in a matter of minutes. It's just going to be gone, 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 gone. You know why? Because you don't know what you're doing. You have no clue what you're doing. He has no clue what he's doing. So another thing, folks, that you have to remember is this. It doesn't matter what the PDT rule is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're trading, what instrument you're trading. Options, futures, it doesn't matter. If you can't trade price action and you don't know how to trade, anything they do to help you won't help. You're still going to lose. Whether it's 25,000 minimum or it's 2,000 minimum, you are going to lose. You're just going to lose this in one shot. You're going to lose this 10 times. And that is what you all need to understand. That is vitally, vitally important. The thing you're going to do in our VIP is we're going to protect you, and this is how we're going to do that. We are going to get you in a simulator. And if you can't be green for 6 months straight in a simulator, minimum 350 trades, minimum. You have to take 350 trades over the 6 months. You have to be green every month. If you can't do that, you'll never make money in the stock market. So instead of you putting money into the market and trying to learn, we're going to let you keep your money until you can do that. Until you can do that, forget it. And that is what we're going to work on with you in those simulators. We're going to get to work, and we're going to teach you how to trade properly. Because until you complete this goal, keep your money in your pocket. Keep it in your bank accounts. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to lose it. Does everybody understand me in here? Is it best to wait for a narrow state before open? Not so much, Julissa. As long as you're in a neutral state, you're okay, either up or down. If you're in a wide state, then you know where to play, okay? You know how to play it to the downside. Voss is the best. He doesn't want you to lose. No, I don't want you to lose. I want to protect you guys as much as I can. But in the end, remember, this is not financial investment or tax advice. You must trade at your own risk. So we are going, hello, Martin. Martin says, yes, we are going to protect you the best we can. But in the end, it's up to you what you do. Okay? Because there's so many GAMBLERSs out there, they can't help themselves because they're desperate for money. They love the thrill of the idea of making money, but in reality, they just lose money in the market. Remember what I told you, everybody. 80% of all traders, they love the idea of trading. They love the idea of it. Okay? Waking up, the possible chances of changing their life, making money. But only 20% are going to put in the work to do what it takes to be good at this. 80% love the idea, they're going to quit. Only 20% are going to be left around and put in the work to get good at this. So you have to ask yourself, we all start here. We all start here in the 100. Then we branch out. Then we have the 20% here, and then we have the 80% here. Which one are you going to fall into? Are you going to be the quitter, or are you going to do what it takes to be good at this? And if you're a quitter, that's okay. Are trading algos worth it? No. And let me ask you a question about algos. If they were so good, wouldn't everybody be rich? That's a revelation. Algos, if everyone just uses an algo, we'll all be rich. We'll all be rich. Forget it. Just get an algo, a bot. Yeah. Martin, it took me 9 years. 9 years of a lot of pain. So what do you want to be? The 80% or the 20%? Which one? Put it in the chat. Are you an 80%er or are you a 20%er? It's true. Yeah, market makers have algos. You know they only win 30% of the time? Those algos that they use? Die trying, never quit. Right, that's the mentality you have to have. When I was doing this 10 years ago, and I was bad at this, the reason I didn't give up is because I've told you before, I came this far, this much pain, why would I stop? It couldn't get any worse, right? I did everything I needed to do. I broke everything in my house. I screamed, I cried, I yelled, I banged my head against the wall. I did it all already. It wasn't going to get any worse. So I said, let me keep going. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to keep going. I went through all the pain already. So why would I quit now? Thank you, Shelly, with the designer glasses. Let's finish off those glasses. 4 left. Who are going to be the 4? 4 left, my beauties. H-Town, I will never message you on TikTok. Never. Never, ever, ever. This is my only account, the one you're on now. Marcus, Jonathan, yes! Thank you, Marcus, Jonathan! What strategies are good? There's only one strategy to trade, folks. All amateurs think there's all these strategies. There is one strategy on how to trade the market. And it all revolves around the heartbeat of the market. You see that right there, the red line? That is the heartbeat of the market. No, it's not, Voss. It's not the heartbeat. Opening range breakout, Voss. Or, man, opening range, fair value gap, Voss, fair value gap. How's that working out for you? All you need to know before you get started with us is all roads lead back to the heartbeat of the market. All roads lead back to the heartbeat of the market. Want to play this game? Should we play this game, everybody? Look, Tesla, this is the best one. The daily chart on Tesla. It doesn't go back to the 20, man. It doesn't go back to the 20. We're going to the moon. No, you're not. You're coming back to the 20. We're going to the moon. No, you're coming back to the 20. We're bleeding out. No, we're coming back to the 20. Voss, we're bleeding out. Look, nope, 20. Bleeding, nope, 20. Should we keep playing? Oh my God, this is it, Voss. It's over. Tesla, it's gone. No, back to the 20. We're going to the moon. No, we're just coming back to the 20. VWAP? No, we don't use VWAP. Amateurs use VWAP. There's no professional trader use VWAP. Oh, no, VWAP. It's not EMA, folks. It's not EMA. What else do you want to learn? What else do you want to learn? Are we ready? All right, let's finish. So we know about SPY. Tomorrow on NVIDIA, we are in a neutral state. Here is your whip zone for tomorrow. If we open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time here, what are we doing? What are we doing if we open inside the whip zone tomorrow, everybody? Yes, professionals will use fair value gap. What are we doing? We are going up. Wrong. Nothing. We are in the whip zone. The first 15 minutes of the day, you are doing nothing unless you get over the whip zone for a long or under the whip zone for a short. Now, just because you get over the whip zone, does that mean you take a long? No, you must know your support and resistance levels. Let's put them in right now for you, okay? What support and a resistance do we have? Well, we got a double top right there. Whammo, we got the granddaddy right there. Whammo! So let's see, execution time frame. Above the whip zone, over 178.30, you will have room up to 180. You got to know where your support and resistance levels are on your higher time frames. You must trade with multiple time frames. We never trade with one time frame. How many of you in here trade with one time frame? John with the last designer. Thank you, my John. I appreciate you. How many of you trade with one time frame? You stare at the 1 minute or the 2 minute because you say, I'm a scalper. I want to scalp today. How many? All right. Now, to the downside, under the whip zone, we have room down to 175.67. Okay? So before you take a trade, you have to say to yourself, does my risk to reward, my 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, do I have room up to resistance? If you are taking a 1-to-1 trade and you don't have room up to 180.34, why are you taking the trade? You're not going to make it to 1-to-1. You're going to get the pullback. And then when it comes pulling back, we don't know what's going to happen. You see how we do this, everybody? 1-to-1, 2-to-1, risk to reward. And we're going to teach you how to calculate your risk to reward right before you take every trade. So I know if I took this trade long to the upside, okay, I know I am risking 30 cents per share on that long to the upside. So if I get in at 178, do I have room for a 1-to-1? 30 cents? Well, how about that? 178.30. And then what happens up here? The market cycle turns over again. Oh. Wow. Do I think Intel will keep running? Let's see. I want to know what love is. We will be in a narrow state on Intel tomorrow, okay? This is your whip zone. Narrow base, narrow state looks good, right? but we don't know if we're going up or we're going down. Let's go to our daily chart. Well, the daily tells me this. Look at your 8, look at your 20, look at your close. If you try to go long there, you're a damn fool tomorrow. Does everybody hear me? Look, let's go take a look at Miss Market. Miss Market was in the same boat a little while ago. Boom, boom, boom. What did I tell everybody? You're coming back to the 20. Boom. Was it smart to go long at the beginning of the week? No. And that is how you don't guess, folks. We're not sitting here guessing. Do I think the market's going to go up or the market going to go down? Nobody knows, and we don't care if it goes up or it goes down. What is the only thing we care about? What is the only thing we care about? Are we ready? I'm going to put these whip zones in for you. There's too many traders who are trying to predict. You're trying to predict it's going up. You're putting your trend lines in all over the place. Your chart looks like this. We got horizontals. You think adding RSI, adding MACD, adding this and that is going to help you predict and get rich. The more you put on that chart, the more you're going to lose. Your losing percentage will dramatically go down the more you put on that chart. So how many of you here have a chart that looked like that? Harry, you got to get in the VIP, my man, to learn all of this. Who has a chart that looks like that? Seriously. Who has a chart that looks like that? Put me in the chat. Don't be bad. I had a chart that looked like that at one point. All our VIPers had charts that looked like that at one point. The majority of you finding liquidity sweep zones. Harry, I hope that was a joke. Clean that up. Your charts, when we teach you, are going to look like that. That is what a chart looks like for a real trader. We're not having trend lines flying all over. Simon with the meteor shower! Simon! Thank you, Simon. Love you, my brother. Thank you so much. We don't have charts that look like that. You're not using trend lines. What are you? Look, how many of you have been taught this? When it breaks above here, go long. Yeah, let me know how that works out with the heartbeat of the market's pointing down. Let me know how that works out. When it comes under here, so you're sitting there waiting for this to go, woo, 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 woo. It's coming in. It's coming in. It's coming in. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? So we know on INTC, this is our whip zone level. We don't care what this does. We could care less. Well, Voss, what does that mean? If it goes to the upside with an event and Miss Market tells us to go long, we go long. If Miss Market tells us to go short with an event based on state position, we go short. We do what Miss Market tells us to do. We don't predict what she's going to do. All we do is react. We don't predict. We react. Good traders react. That's it. We have no bias on anything. So when I see a trader start drawing these trend lines, they are trying to predict what the hell is about to happen. And you're going to lose. You are going to lose. So let me give you an example. Intel tomorrow. We are in a narrow state. That much we know. This won't change before the bell opens. We are narrow. Okay? We know we're getting a good move out of Intel tomorrow. We don't know if we're going up or if we're going down. We don't care. Okay? But what position we open up, if we open right here, position 1 tomorrow with an event at the open, what are you going to do? What does the probability tell you to do? What is Miss Market telling you to do in that position at 9:30 a.m. with an event? Hammer it. You're going long to the upside. If Miss Market opens right here to the downside, what are you doing tomorrow? you're going to go short it. Miss Market saying, hello, short me. There's no bias. That's a high probability setup. But before you do any of this, you got to know where your support and resistance lines are. So you know where the hell you're going here. Okay? So we're going to map these out real quick for you. For me, it'll take about 15 seconds. Whoa. Whoa. Let's put those back in. Love me again. Let's put these back in. So we know tomorrow, ding, 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 I have room up to 36.32. 36.32. That's where my major resistance is. Okay? Do we got that? So for 50 cents to the upside, is it worth it? Look at the daily. Look at the daily. Daily saying don't go long. So for 50 cents, do I want to go long on this to the upside? No. Under 35.54, I got room down to 33.65. I know what my daily chart looks like. It doesn't look good long, but it looks good short. And I'm in a narrow state. And under the whip zone, if Miss Market says, go hammer that pig to the downside, we're going to hammer it because I have plenty of room to the downside. Miss Market tells me what to do, okay? On Boeing, when I took this trade on Friday, I told you all Friday morning, this was major resistance to the upside. The lines are still there. We were in position 3. We were in a bearish neutral state. I told you I was playing this to the downside. I played this to the downside at the open, and I won to the downside on this trade. And so did many other VIP traders. Why? Because we were in position 3. We were in a bearish neutral state, okay? And we had major resistance to the upside. We had 3 things in our favor for a short. That's high probability. So what was I waiting for? I was waiting for Miss Market to tell me to short it. When did she tell me to short it? Soon as she gave me that tail and that elephant bar right there. And then I was in. Boom. To the downside. Why? Because I've traded this setup 1,000 times. Bearish neutral state. Bullish position 3. With resistance above you. Short it. Now, the second trade I took, posted in the VIP, was IWM to the moon. If you're here for the first time, hit that follow button. And remember, folks, the VIP is open, where me and my coaches are going to teach you all of this stuff. So you actually know what the hell you're doing. All right? You're going to head over to the VossTrading.com. Just type that into your browser or click the links in my bio. Okay? Let me teach you how to trade. I took this long to the upside. Right there. Boom. That was my second trade. Why did I take this trade? Well, on my 1 hour and daily, it said I had room up to that 200. I was able to get more than a 1-to-1 on this trade based on my risk to reward. It was an A+ setup, and I got the move to the upside. Now, why didn't I hold on to this and say, ready? We're going to the moon. Because I'm coming into major resistance. Major resistance. The granddaddy of them all is right there. I wrapped it up right there. That was it. The trade was over. Okay? Then you shouldn't be trading in the market. Enter a name. The last thing you should be doing is fooling around with the stock market. All right? You got to know what you're doing. Most of you don't know what you're doing. Every day you're just guessing. You're guessing. And a lot of you probably try to go long here because, 1, you didn't have the 200 on your chart, number 1. Number 2, you think you're going to the moon. You don't know the market cycle. And number 3, you don't know what position and state you're in. So you're just guessing. How many of you every day when you trade, you guess? Seriously, and don't be ashamed. How many of you guess every day in the market? Then we'll do Tesla for tomorrow. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, state of confusion. Then why are you trading with your hard-earned money? Why would you do that? Get in the VIP, start saving your money. We're going to get you in you're going to trade the real live market in the simulator. You're trading the real market. And let's get you going in the right direction. So if you ever decide, I'm going to use my real money now, I accomplished what he told me to accomplish, at least you know what you're doing. At least you know what you're doing. Now, Tesla tomorrow. We pull up this chart for tomorrow. What does this chart tell you about Tesla tomorrow? Without a shadow of, doesn't matter what you trade, Shad. If you trade Forex, futures, options, equities, crypto, what we teach you works for all, and the instrument is irrelevant. The instrument is irrelevant. That's why traders, when you start with options and lose your account, you go to penny stocks. You lose your account. Then you go to futures thinking a prop firm's going to save you. Then you lose your account. Doesn't matter the instrument. If you stink at trading, it doesn't matter what you trade. You trade a deck of cards, you're going to lose that too. Okay? Now, Tesla, it tells us we are in a wide state. So I know on Tesla, without a shadow of a doubt, for the first half hour tomorrow, I am not going long on this thing. No way, Jose, am I going long on this. So tomorrow on Tesla, if you get that's your wide state. If you get a gap up here, do you know what that gap is called right there? Who knows what this gap is called right here to the upside? In a wide state, gap up. What is that called? This one's over here talking about world events. Fair value gap. They said that there it is. We got it. First one of the day. We got it. This is called the novice gap. Why does everyone refer to it, professionals refer to this as the novice gap? Where's Powder? Are you in here? Powder knows all about the novice gap. Thank you so much, Shelly Stringer, King, Vilma. Thank you, Candy. Thank you. Why is this called the novice gap? Because the novices think they're going to the moon on a gap up, but they don't know the state of their stock. They're in a wide state. This is coming back hard. You have no chance to the upside on Tesla. Zero. Nada. You are coming back with violence. While you're trying to go long in this novice gap, the pros are shorting the hell out of this thing. They're going to short the hell out of it. So if we get a gap up tomorrow morning, I'll remind you. And then at the open, when you see it crash down, you're going to say that bald-headed guy was right again. He was right again. Oh, my God, he was right again. Now, novice gap number 2. If you gap down here, we're bleeding out. Tesla, it's a world event. Like somebody's talking about over here. It's a world event. Everything is crashing. It's over on Tesla. No, it's a novice gap. So what you're going to do is you are going to go that way on Tesla. Because you are in a bullish wide state to the upside and you are in a bearish position 3 to the downside. You're not going short. No, 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 no. VIPers that are in here, what I'm teaching them right now, can you please tell them, is it important? Marwin with the rose. Where's all my VIPers? Is it important, everybody? That's the difference between a winning trader and a losing trader. The 3 things you must know, minimum, is the state of your stock, the position of your stock, and what market cycle you are in on that trade. If you don't know those 3 things before taking a trade, you're going to lose. I'm letting you know, I am telling you right now, without a shadow of a doubt, you are going to lose. How many of you in here right now, on the last trade you took, you could answer these 3 questions? How many of you can answer those 3 questions on the last trade you took? Thomas says, what's my credibility? VIPers, you want to let him know? Thomas is over here very bad at trading, so he's trying to find somebody that has good credibility, because if he finds the good credible person, it's going to make him a better trader. Boo, boo. Penny stock Ross? Oh, Voss. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate you. Here they all are. Come over here. What was your name? Thomas. Come over to TikTok. They'll answer all the questions for you. Or you can keep losing. I mean, the choice is yours, really. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you. Wow, look at all these people. Voss is the real deal. Thank you. Thank you. See, don't go by my success. Go by everyone's success that's in the group. I would rather look at over 1,000 VIP traders' success versus just me, because if they're all doing well, it doesn't matter what I do. That means I'm a damn good teacher, right? You just learned something, Thomas. Thomas? Thomas. What else do we want to learn, folks? What else do we want to learn? Let's go to XRP to the moon. Let's see what we got. You ever notice unsuccessful people have it backwards? Why is that? Why is their thinking always backwards? A wise person once told me that. What's today, the 28th? Okay, yesterday when we were live on here, I put in these levels for you. I told you we needed to get over this to the upside. There you go on XRP. I then told you above 280.38. There you go. Then I told you 281.17. The levels are still here. There you go. Okay? And if you look at the levels we put in place, folks, it just follows the levels like to the T. Do you see it? Or you could keep using your RSI. RSI to the moon. All right, let's put some levels in for you this morning. Stop us now. Put in your trend lines, everybody. Let's put in our trend lines. All right, XRP, you got to get over 280.41. Right here. See it? 288.41, you have room up to 285.79. This is not financial investment or tax advice. This is for education purposes only, okay? Under 276.69, you will have room down to 269.86. You can look at this later. It's going to hit those numbers. We have 200 roses left. No, don't use RSI. Are you kidding me? Hold on. Who asked that question? Fonz, how has RSI been doing for you? Are you consistently profitable every month using RSI? Who in here, girl mom says, Voss is a damn good teacher. How many people in here have used RSI and were profitable every month consistently? Put me in the chat. RSI! Simon with the rose. There's no yeses. Why is that? Simon! Nobody said yes. Nobody said yes. We have 250 people in here. Now, one person said yes. So why are you using it? All right, folks. Let me do this for you. Right now on your journal, how many of you journal your trades every day? And go back every month and review your trades for the last month. Anyone in here journal? So right now, if you journal, you're going to see your equity curve is going to look like this. It's going down. Your equity curve should be going up. But that's all right. For a new trader or somebody who's not very good at trading, having this type of equity curve is normal. You may have one of these, you get lucky, but pretty much you're heading down this way, okay? When you join the VIP, let's say right about here, you decide, you know what, this guy's right, I stink at this, I'm going to join the VIP. So if someone says to me, Voss, what is one thing the VIP will do? It's going to make your learning curve faster. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're either never going to learn how to do this or it's going to take you years. So what the VIP is set up to do is to make your learning curve go quicker, okay? So when you join the VIP right here, most people think they are going to, their equity curve is going to go from here to there. We're going, baby. I'm being rich. I joined the VIP. No. What's going to happen is you are still going to continue to lose. You're going to head this way. Does anyone know why, after you join the VIP, why you are still going down? Does anybody know? Seriously, this is very, very important, everybody. The reason is because you're still trying to apply what hasn't worked for you for the past months or years. It's hard to let go of that ego. I get it, okay? And you're also learning a new way of trading, the only way, the right way. So it's going to take a little bit to get to know how to trade like this. So you're still going to go down. And then all of a sudden, your equity curve is going to flatten out right about there. Boom. We got to get that baby to flatten out. How do we get your equity curve to flatten out? Well, we're going to teach you how to trade with real risk management. You are going to become a great loser. You're going to be so good at losing, you won't be afraid of losing anymore. VIPers, how many of you in here are now great losers? How many of you, when you get into a trade, you're not scared anymore because you know you're a great loser? Now, once we make you a great loser, then we can start turning this up, okay? Slowly, we're going to start going up. Why are we going to start turning to the upside? Because we made you a good loser. We plugged the bottom of your bucket. It's not leaking anymore. Now we're going to go to the next phase in the VIP, and we are going to teach you how to take high probability setups, 70% setup probability setups. So when you get in, you have a 70% chance of getting a one-to-one. But you're a great loser. So what happens if the 30% occurs? You're going to break even on that trade. I'm going to repeat that one more time. You're going to get in the trade, and you're going to break even on that trade. Why? Because you took a high probability setup. We're going to teach you when and how to put in your break even so you don't lose money. How about that, huh? And if you do take a non-high probability setup, because you still will, you're going to know when to get out because you are a great loser. So what's going to happen is your equity curve is going to start going up and your confidence is going to start going up, okay? And then let me tell you what's going to happen. Your equity curve is going to start coming up slowly, okay? I'm running out of room here. Your equity curve starts going up slowly, and then you're going to have one of these. But Voss, I'm in the VIP. The VIP is $49.99 a month, cheap and easy. Why does that occur? Why did we hammer down to the downside again? Anybody know why? Because it's going to happen to you. Who knows why? Because you got too cocky. That ego came creeping back in. I know what to do. The market is my... I'm not going to say the word. I'm the best. And then Miss Market is going to hammer you back down again. And you're going to sit there and go, oh my God, I was doing so well. What happened, Voss? Why am I not doing that well anymore? Because you started trading against what? The heartbeat of the market. Because when we start getting good at this, we think any trade we take is going to work. Woo! We're going to trade. We're going back to our old habits. Look, we're going to the moon. Yes, I'm getting in because I'm doing good now. Nope. You start breaking your rules. Maximum loss per day. I broke it. Why? Because I'm good at this now. We start breaking rules. We start trading nonsense things again. We start trading anything in sight. And then Miss Market humbles you again. And then we go back and review your trades to see what's going on. And you just broke every rule for the last 3 weeks. That's why your equity curve went from this to that. How many of you can say you've done that? Put me in the chat. VIPers, how many of you have had this line eventually? They're like, damn, how does this guy know all of this? I've done it. You want to know what my equity curve looked like? You ready for this? I'm not kidding you. You ready? That's what my equity curve looked like in my journal. When my mentor looked at it, they said, what the hell? Big loss, big winner, big loss, small losses, big winner, big loss, big winner, big loss. You want to know why? Because I was insane. I thought I knew better. I paid the guy $10,000. Well, the agency, $10,000 to learn how to trade. And I was telling them what they should be doing. Think about that for an ego. So I get it. But until I let the ego go, I just didn't get better. And then finally, I said, you know what? Sir Paul, one of my mentors, great trader from the UK, said to me, Voss, if you don't listen to what we're teaching you, we're going to throw you out of here. Because I was doing what everyone else loves to do. That doesn't feel great about what they're doing. Trying to rile up the base. If I'm doing bad, you all should be doing bad. I don't want anyone to be doing good in here. So Sir Paul said to me, has what you've been doing for the last 10 years worked? And it was an easy answer. Nope. Then why do you keep doing it? And that was like a revelation to me. Calm, cool, and collected. And I said, you know what? He's right. And then I remember when I first took my first trade. I will never forget it. I took my first I said, you know what? I'm going to listen to these crazy bastards, and I'm going to do what they said. And I was near the heartbeat of the market, and I took my trade in the direction of the heartbeat. And I got a 1-to-1 easily. And I was like, yeah! You would have thought I just won $1 gazillion. And then I said to myself, it's not going to work again. This was a fluke. I know it's not going to work again. And I took another trade, and I won again. But instead of screaming this time, I was like this. Then I went back and looked at all my trades since I joined the group and to learn how to trade, and every single one was against everything they taught me. Every single trade was the opposite of what they were teaching you. It got to the point, and I told Sir Paul this. I'm going to start doing the opposite of what I think I should do. So when I think I should go long, I'm going to short it. When I think I should short, I'm going to go long. And he started hysterically laughing at me. I will never forget that British hysterically laugh that he had. And he said, and this is true, let me take a sip of my tea, he goes. And then I said, what's he doing? He goes, I've been there and done that too. I want you to do that and let me know what happens. Well, it was a complete and utter train wreck. So we laugh together. We talk about that story all the time, at least once a week, me and him. And I go back and I say, Sir Paul, why was I so bad? I was worse than all of you. I'm telling you right now, I was worse than everyone in here at trading. I was the worst ever. Horrible. And I said, why was I so bad? And he said, because you just didn't listen. You just didn't listen. Everyone hits their rock bottom at certain times. Some people hit them quickly. Some people over time. Some people hit their rock bottom and still keep fighting. It's crazy. And I said, you know what? This is one of the best traders on the planet. I got to listen to these people. And now the rest is history. It's crazy. They said when you joined, you were able to win back your 10 grand that you paid for the course, and I got that back. So, and the rest is now they're one of my best, they're like family. So how we doing, everybody? Are we ready for tomorrow? What do we know about Tesla? What do we know about Tesla tomorrow? We are not going long. We are not thinking anything long on Tesla until that 20 gets back close to that 200. Can you promise me that? We are not doing anything with Tesla until these get closer again tomorrow. Should take about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay? Can you promise me that? On Miss Market tomorrow, we are in a neutral state. I suggest you do the same thing. Don't trade anything for 15 to 20 minutes on Miss Market tomorrow. until we get closer. And we'll reiterate this in the morning too, okay? We are at 100,000 likes almost. Hammer that thing. Let's go. Hammer those likes. Let's get over 100,000. Can you get a promo code for a subscription? No, we don't do that. Membership mills do that to try to suck you in. I don't need to suck you in, Yavid. I'm good at what I do. I'm really good at what I do. So if you want to join. If you don't worry about it. Because I know there's a 90% chance that you will eventually. You're going to head over to thevosstrading.com to get into the VIP. You can put that in your browser, okay? Or just click the link in my YouTube or TikTok bio, and that'll get you to the VIP. Folks, listen, and I'm not being mean when I say this. Truly, I want you all to be good at this. If you can't afford $50 a month, you have no business being in the stock market trading anything, okay? You know that. Come on. And you're not going to lose any money because we're going to put you in the simulator, all right? What other questions do we have, my beautiful traders? Gord with the heartbeat. Switch. Appy, thank you so much. Joel, J-E-H, I appreciate it. Simon says yes. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you. Jonathan Hall, Marwin, Lisa, Candy, Shelly. Candy! User, Jules, Davion, Lino. Hey, Dex, Marcus, Andrew the Believer, Shelly Stringer, Christina Zan, Only Dan, 11. Thank you, guys. I just want to go through the list. They used their hard-earned money, man. Higher Flows. Thank you. Powder. Yes. Marwin. Thank you so much. I think we got everybody. Rickster. Julie. Thank you. Grinch. How are you, Grinch? Thank you. Shelly Stringer. Lisa. Thank you all. Over there on YouTube, Mr. Dave. Yes. Thank you. Hello, Woodsy. How are you? No, I don't read any books about trading. No. The only way you get better at trading is trading in the simulator. That's the only way you get better. There's no book that's going to make you a good trader. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. How many of you here have read trading books? Put me in the chat. Did it make you any better? Maybe it did. I don't know. But did it? Did any trading books make you have the revelation of being a good trader? Girl mom, yeah. So position typically for the open, but when we start doing this, look, when we start getting up here, you got to know your state, okay? So you got to know that your heartbeat is in position 3 now to the upside. We know this 20 is coming back to this 200, either through time or price action. Remember that, traders. Time or price action. And there's anyone else that goes live on these TikToks, I'm going to tell you that now, that gives you as much free education as we do. So if you love what we give on here, you're going to love what we give in the VIP. I mean, I train you every Tuesday and Thursday nights in the VIP at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So if you truly want to learn how to do this right, and if you really care about trading, you're going to learn how to do it. You're not going to jerk around anymore. All right? Thank you for all the follows. Whoa! Look at them, all those new followers today. Thank you so much, everybody. What else? Anything else I can answer for you before we sign off? Anything? Put them in the chat. Look at the cues, Joseph? Sure. And can somebody please send some good golfers over to the American side in the Ryder Cup? I mean, what the hell's going on over there? All right, on the cues, my brother, sisters, we are in the same boat as SPY. We're in that neutral state. You see it? Neutral state here on the cues. So anything to the upside, you got to watch your whole numbers. Remember, 70% of all new highs fail. Remember that. So anything long on the cues, I'm not touching until this 20 gets closer to that 200 tomorrow. It's going to take about 15 minutes. And I'm not going short on this because I'm in a bullish state. Down here at the open, I'll be in a bearish position. The stars aren't aligned here. When the stars aren't aligned, that's when you're whippy and you're choppy. Okay? Hello, Appy. Thank you, Appy, for the perfume, the heartbeat, the lightning bolts. Marcus, switch. Thank you, Andrew the Believer. Thank you so much, everybody. I've never traded before or invested. Where would you start? Chris, I would get into the VIP. Link is in my YouTube bio. Or just go to thevosstrading.com. We have a bunch of traders that are in the VIP who never traded before. One of our most successful ones is Candy. She's in here right now. 18 months ago, she never traded before in her life. Ask her how she's doing. All right, folks, that's a wrap. I love you all so much. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the tapping. Thank you for being here every day. We just want to help you, okay? You're welcome, Chris. That's all we want to do. We're not here to hurt you. We want to help you because what you're doing right now isn't working. And I don't say that to be mean. I know that because I went through it. I wish there was something like this when I was going through it. There wasn't. We had to search on Google for somebody, okay? I love you. Have a fabulous Sunday. Be kind. Give someone a hug today. Be a good person and help others, okay? Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time right here. New VIPers will get you tagged up here shortly, and we will welcome you with open arms. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great, great day.